don't know, we can do is search and see what.
Evening, I'd like to call to order the regular scheduled meeting of the Kingston City Council. I'd like to ask everyone to please stand. Mr. Brown is going to lead us in the invocation, and Councilwoman Johnson will lead us in the pledge of the flag.
Our Heavenly Father, thank you for another day of life with you. Thank you for all that you do for us. Thank you for allowing us to come together here as a group to do the business of the citizens of Kingston. Be with us, lead us, guide us, and direct us, and help us in the decisions that we have to make tonight. And most of all, as we do every time we pray, we give you thanks for your Son who died on the cross for our sins, and we'll give you praise every day. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You may be seated. Madam Clerk, can you please call the roll?
Councilmember Grable.
Here.
Vice Mayor Brown.
Present.
Councilmember Wynn.
Present.
Councilmember Johnson.
Present.
Councilmember White.
Present.
Mayor Nichols.
Present. Do I hear a motion to approve the previous minutes as written?
Motion. Second.
Motion second. Any corrections, deletions to the minutes? Council. Madam Clerk, call the roll on the minutes, please.
Councilmember Grable.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Brown.
Yes.
Councilmember Wynn.
Yes.
Councilmember Johnson.
Yes.
Councilmember White.
Yes.
Mayor Nichols.
Aye. Then we set aside time for citizens' comments. Is there anyone wishing to appear before the council tonight? Seeing none, we have applicants for appointment to the city council. Michael Greenwell, Levi Langford, and Philip Martin. What we're going to do is have you guys come up. We have your resumes that you sent out, so we're all very familiar with who everybody is. Come up, introduce yourself, and have 3 minutes to talk. So we'll go first, have Michael Greenwell come up, please.
How y'all doing? I'm Michael Greenwell. You've got my resume up, which you've seen what I've got going on there, so I won't get into details of it. Forgive me. This weekend, my sinuses just decided to explode, so I'm hard of hearing in one ear right now, and my nose is just completely gone, so please forgive me here. I've been a resident now with the city of Kingston for about 10 years. I was raised in Roane County, so I've had a lot of direct ties to Kingston. My grandparents lived here in Kingston, and I lived with them for quite some time while I was in school off and on. So there are a lot of ties here with myself in the city of Kingston, even though I haven't lived in the city of Kingston but for 10 years. I've been on the Parks and Rec committee now for about 3 years, give or take, somewhere right around in there. Thoroughly enjoyed my time with Parks and Rec. I just feel like now I'd like to branch out and try to serve the community a little bit more than what I'm doing now with Parks and Rec. Been in business, running businesses now for about 25 years. I'm currently with Hobby Lobby as a general manager. I've been with them for 17 years now, kind of all over East Tennessee. I'm running the Turkey Creek store up there right now. Closest store I could get to Kingston, so I still have to drive a little bit. My business interests are outside of the city, so that keeps me going that direction. But I still like to call Kingston home, and will always call Kingston home. Raising my 11-year-old son here right now. I have a 27-year-old son who lives just right outside Kingston city limits, and 2 grandbabies, 6 and 7. So a lot of ties to the city of Kingston. Man, and to see where Kingston was when I was growing up, where it is now, and then just seeing all of the things that just seem great onto where it's going, I want to be a part of that. And I want to help, and I want to serve and go from there. So, I want to thank you all for listening to me. I know it won't be 3 minutes. Anybody have any questions?
See that. Thank you, Mr. Grant. I appreciate it.
Thanks, sir.
Now, Mr. Levi Langford, if you'll come up, please.
Good evening. Kind of seems a little familiar standing here in front of you, ladies and gents. It was only 10 months ago that we went through the same process. Before that, it was 5 months after the election of 2022. Then it all started back in 2020 when we lost a good man by the name of Wiley Brackett. So you guys have seen me before. I know the story. I've spent most of my life here in Kingston and or Roane County with the exception of 3 years. I wanted to see what the big city life was like and decided to move up to the big metropolis of Oak Ridge. A little too fast-paced for an old country boy. A lot of red lights, a lot of just everyday hustle and bustle, not being able to just go on with the flow, not really taking time to sit on your front porch and wave at your neighbors as they drive down the street and all that other good stuff. Been with Y12 now for 5 years. Involved with the KOC program over here. We just had opening day ceremonies, as most of you were there this past Saturday. Unfortunately, it looks like Mother Nature's not going to cooperate with us this week and get any more games in until this coming Saturday. We'll see. But just like to be involved with the kids. Kids and veterans are my two biggest concerns. I don't think veterans get enough respect that they, especially our Vietnam vets, they don't get enough respect these days as far as maybe a free meal here or there or a free drink or something like that. I think we should do a better job overall of taking care of them. But like I said, started in 2020. Mr. Brackett's passing. There was only 2 of us that agreed to run in the 2022 election, being Mr. Griffiths and myself. Mr. Griffiths had moved outside of the city limits, so therefore he was not able to do 2022. And then when we had Ms. Stockton resign from her position, me and Mr. Brashears were the only 2 that had ran in the previous election to apply for that vacated seat there. And then now that we have Mr. Childs' resignation, I was the only one left. And that's not taking anything away from Mr. Green, or Mr. Gwynn, Mr. Greenwell, or anything against Pastor. It's just that I don't know what else a man would have to do to prove that he is interested in running for city council and seeing things get accomplished in this city. I see Rockwood just had their Main Street Monday. Great turnout down there. City of Harriman has announced their Friday nights in the alley over there with bands and stuff starting up later on this month. I know our farmers market starts up in a couple of weeks down there. But it seems like here over the last couple of years we've kind of slipped as far as offering what we can using our fullest abilities, what we have here at the amphitheater. The food truck part, our food truck rally was obviously canceled due to weather. I thought maybe in the near future, maybe get together and see if we can maybe move it over to the pavilion, Kingston City Park. It's a covered pavilion. They pull in there on each side. There's 8 slots, 4 food trucks per side. Pull in there and everybody stays 90% dry on anything that's inclement weather-wise. But I do think that there's a lot of opportunities, a lot of areas to improve as far as what we offer as a city, and given the chance, that's what I'd like to do. Any questions, comments, concerns, or emotional outbursts? Not yet. Thank you, Mayor.
Mr. Philip Martin.
My name's Philip Martin, and I want to thank you guys for allowing all of us to come out here. I don't have anything to say about these guys, but I think they're wonderful guys. Y'all got their resume. We all go to church together, so it's kind of weird that we're all here together. And normally I don't speak for 3 minutes. I can't do an introduction for that. Normally we take up an offering, but tonight's a little bit different. And I want to just kind of share a little bit of who I am in the brief time that I have. My wife and I, Mandy, moved here. Gosh, I don't know. We started serving here in the Kingston community about 13 years ago, and we love Kingston. I wasn't born and raised here, but this is our home. This is going to be our home for life. My wife actually was raised here, went to Cherokee Middle School, and then she ended up transferring to Oklahoma City where we met and got married. We had 5 children. 3 of my boys were triplets, had graduated from Roane County High School. Most of you guys know them. And then my daughter is actually in Roane County High School, and my son is in Kingston Elementary School. And we're all Kingston. We do everything that Kingston offers, from flag football to basketball, over to KOC to baseball. Levi does a great job with our KOC over at the baseball. And Michael and I coach together, and it's just a great community to be a part of. My whole life is about service. That's what I do. And I know sometimes people say, well, can a pastor actually serve in local government? Well, yeah, we have people that serve in local government that are pastors in the state level, from the national level, that are pastors and mayors and all those kinds of things. And so as a service to our community, I just want to give my life to that. And what you do is service. You serve our community, and oftentimes it's a thankless job, I'm sure. You probably do get yelled at or emotional outbursts from time to time, but you do the best that you can for our community. I have no agenda. I'm just here to serve and to be a part of a great team, and I want to thank each of you for what you do. I know whatever decision you make tonight, it'll be for the betterment of Kingston, and I wholeheartedly support that. So thank you for my consideration. You got my resume, and if I can answer any questions, let me know. Thanks.
Thank you. Does anyone else wish to address the council tonight? Mr. Clark.
I saw how beautiful our new docks looked, and I went down to take a look at them, and I thought, man, we have to protect them. I have to get this load to put on my steps, okay, and when I approach here, so you can kind of pass that around. That's a peel and stick that I was gonna put on my concrete steps, and as I went to the county commission last night, they actually had that on the steps going up. You can see the reflective line, so you can kind of see it in the dark. And it's to prevent slips. But it also, here, I'll pass it over. It also protects. Now this is about $9. Okay. And it's short. So when I went down to the docks, when they were being built, I just happened to mention to the guy that looked like he was the supervisor. He wasn't up there putting the boards on. While the water was down, could they put more creosote on the pole? And he said, no, can't do that. That's against the EPA. I said, well, okay, I understand that. And then you're thinking, so I think all the telephone poles that are out were put up and had creosote on it. I think railroad tracks, the wood has creosote on it. But I'm not arguing to put creosote on it. I'm saying maybe the next time the water is down in the wintertime, we could go ahead and build a concrete column right along the side of the wooden one. That you just build it, all you have to do is build it up to support right underneath. And we don't have to worry about it. And those poles, we can even take the poles out, but just leave the poles in until they deteriorate. But what I'm gonna tell you, I thought it was a great job. And when I went down there the other day to look at it, because I'm going to bring you some statistics, okay? There's 86 boards on one of the docks, and about 6 partials that they cut to meet the little curve that go in there. They're 71 inches long, which is pretty close to 6 feet. I'm probably 71 inches long now. I looked at it and said, yep, I just about barely fit there. But as I looked at it, and I'm not a doctor, I'm not a religion, I'm not crashing. That's a poor job, ladies and gentlemen. We pay for a poor job. And somebody approved it. After it was done, we accepted that. I'd like to know who was at the Parks and Recreation. Is there somebody that oversees him? Was that the council or is that the city manager?
That'd be the city manager. What are you saying was a poor job? How was it done the poor job way, ma'am?
Where they put the screws in to attach it, they just bore down, did it so hard and so fast, they buried the screw, okay, down inside, and they have split the wood out to the edge. On virtually every board on both sides. The wood that they used is of poor quality. It's got pine knots in it that are open. To me, that says water's going to get in there.
Well, I don't know, Mr. Bowling, if you've had a chance to look, I've not.
I have, I haven't seen any problems, haven't had anything, when they were inspected, nothing's come to my attention, but, we're happy to take another look, but, of everybody who's looked at them, nobody has had any complaints or.
Well, that may be, I'm sorry, that may be the way that docs are put together. You know my youngest son, Alex, when he got out of high school, he worked with a professional private doctor. And he's put them together. He said, I'd have been fired the first day. There are ways to put screws in that you don't split it, and ways to nail things so you don't split it.
Well, I'll pass this along to Mr. Bowling, the Park and Rec Director, and I'll go down when he quits Brian.
I'm sorry, this crossed my mind right here, right now. I should have gone and taken pictures with my phone, shouldn't I?
It's okay. It's just right there, we can always look at it.
I'll be happy to have the building inspector look at it again, but it's, like I said, as of now, nothing, there's been no concern, nothing, we weren't told to fix anything, but I'll be happy to have Mr. Topher look at it again.
I appreciate that. Now, my response is I didn't go to inspect it to come and complain, okay? But it bothered me so much, I had to say something. And if that's the quality that we'll accept, then I want to build the next boat, the next dock.
Well, we
And I'll do it cheaper than whoever, was this a bidding contract?
No, it
or
was
did-
done by the Park and Rec Committee, Park and Rec Department. We will look at it, and have Mr. Cofer's department also look at it and make sure it's okay.
Can we see if there's a way to protect the dock, that if we put something like this, or you find materials that you find better, that we can adapt, that we can cover that wood so that it will last a much longer time, maybe extend it by 50% more of what the lifespan is expected?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, I know they're talking about sealing it, I don't know what else is planned exactly.
Okay.
But I'm happy to follow up, but I would suggest, I don't know if you've talked to JR, but
I've been down there a couple of times to
that-
kind of talk, and
that would probably be the quickest way to get feedback. is to
I haven't
go
gotten
directly
the
to
chance to
parks,
talk
so.
with him, and I've been to some projects that I see going on, and if he was there, he's out of the office or whatever, and I've talked to the receptionist, the gentleman that's down there, and he said he would pass those things on, and I haven't heard anything back from him, so I assume the receptionist said Mr. Clark has come in and suggested something, and nothing's happened, so that's why I come here. I think that we've invested, I don't know what it is, but as I came tonight, there's a couple other docks that, have turned brown, and I don't know what state of repair they're in, but eventually, they'll have to be replaced. And,
That's something that JR, our Park and Rec Director, keeps in mind when he's looking around the docks to make sure they're in
I'm
shape.
not saying much time, but I'm just saying that we all progress and see things that are better, and we move along and we protect ourselves. That's why we put roofs on our homes. Okay, and then that protects the wood that we have underneath, right? And so we put something like this for tilings to protect and prolong and preserve what we've invested our money in. And I'm just thinking that we need to do something that's definitive to protect our investment. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Clark. Anyone else wish to address the council tonight? I've seen them, we're going to reports of the mayor and council, so I'll start with Mr. Bredman. Mr. Bredman, do you have anything to report?
Not this time.
Mr. Quinn?
No.
Mr. Brown?
No.
Ms. Wright?
I do not.
Ms. Johnson?
No.
Okay. Move on to the city manager report.
Thank you, Mayor. I have just a few things here in addition to my written reports. Has a couple of you asked me about the water sewer bill estimate with the jail that we've been working on. The study on that should be done next week. As soon as I have that memo from them, I will distribute it to you to review before we look at submitting that to the county. If you have any questions, we can certainly set up a call or a meeting with Jackson Thornton, the company that did the study, if needed. But I should have some information to share with you as soon as next week. The SDP project, Lad Boulevard, just a quick update on that. We're waiting now on the notice to proceed to set up the field review. Hopefully we'll get that within the next couple of weeks. Sometimes those things are slow to get moving, but that's the next step that we're waiting on. Still anticipate at this time going to bid in June or July on that project. On ARC, the grant at Lad Park, we think the final plans should be completed sometime in May, and we plan to go out to bid on that in June, and the TDEC permit as part of that process has already been applied for. So those are some things moving on that. Just a reminder, I'm sure something's on social media, but our next Veterans Breakfast will be May the 7th from 8:30 to 10:30. Of course, once again, want to thank Representative Monty Fritz for sponsoring that. And my last item, strangely enough, was going to brag on Parks and Rec on the new docks that were built, but we will talk more about that later. But I do, they've worked hard on that. They've worked hard. You've probably seen the new wall at the fort. That's a very small department. And I try to brag on a department every month, and very proud of the job they're doing, trying to keep our parks looking great and fixing things. We try to do a lot of those types of projects in-house because we simply don't have the budget to go out and contract everything out. So very proud of the job that JR and his guys do. And like I said, we'll follow up on those docks to make sure everything's good, but we haven't had any problems with that, and was pretty happy compared to what we had with how they turned out. But that's all I have, unless you have any questions.
Any questions for City Manager? All right, seeing none. Item 7 is addition of items to the meeting agenda received after the close of the deadline. There were none. Item 8, unfinished business. Item A, consideration to approve the second final reading of ordinance 2403-1201, an ordinance revising the comprehensive codification and revision of the 2023 personnel rules and regulations of the City of Kingston. Do I hear a motion for this second reading? Motion. Motion by Mr. Gwynn, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Johnson. Mr. Gwynn, do you have anything? Ms. Johnson?
No.
Council? Madam Clerk, call the roll, please.
Councilmember Bradford,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Brown,
Yes.
Councilmember Gwynn,
Yes.
Councilmember Johnson,
Yes.
Councilmember Wright,
Yes.
Mayor Dan.
Aye. Item B is consideration to approve the second and final reading of ordinance 2303-1202, an ordinance amending the annual budget for the City of Kingston, Tennessee for fiscal year 23-24. Do you hear a motion for this second reading?
Motion. Second.
Motion by Mr. Quinn, second by Mr. Brett. Mr. Quinn, any questions? Mr. Brett? Council? Madam Clerk, call the roll on that second reading.
Councilmember Bradford,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Brown,
Yes.
Councilmember Gwynn,
Yes.
Councilmember Johnson,
Yes.
Councilmember Wright,
Yes.
Mayor Dan.
Aye. Item C is consideration to approve the second and final reading of ordinance 2403-1203, an ordinance amending the annual budget for the City of Kingston, Tennessee Water and Sewer Fund for fiscal year 23-24. Do you hear a motion for this second reading?
Motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Mr. Gwynn, second by Ms. Johnson. Mr. Gwynn, anything? No. Ms. Johnson?
No.
Council? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, call the roll on that second reading.
Councilmember Bradford,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Brown,
Yes.
Councilmember Gwynn,
Yes.
Councilmember Johnson,
Yes.
Councilmember Wright,
Yes.
Mayor Dan.
Aye. One more second reading. All right. Consideration to approve the second and final reading of ordinance 2403-1204, an ordinance to abolish ordinance 410-1202, an ordinance to establish a driver safety course and cease offering in-person driving school to the Kingston Police Department. To your motion for this second read, final reading.
I make a motion.
Motion by Mr. Brett, was there a second?
Second.
Second, Mr. Gwynn. Mr. Brett, anything? Mr. Gwynn, you, council? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Councilmember Bradford,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Brown,
Yes.
Councilmember Gwynn,
Yes.
Councilmember Johnson,
Yes.
Councilmember Wright,
Yes.
Mayor Dan.
Aye. In a new business, item A is consideration of first reading of ordinance 24040901, ordinance to amend Title 3, Chapter 2, Section 3-204 to establish reasonable court costs. We discussed this Tuesday night to bring us in line with everyone else. Do I hear a motion for this first
Motion.
reading? There's a motion by Mr. Gwynn. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Wright. Mr. Quinn, do you have anything?
No, ma'am.
Ms. Wright?
I do not.
Council? Madam Clerk, call the roll, please.
Councilmember Bradley,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Brown,
Yes.
Councilmember Gwynn,
Yes.
Councilmember Johnson,
Yes.
Councilmember Wright,
Yes.
Mayor Dale.
All right. Item B is consideration to recommend the appointment of a city representative to fill a vacancy on the Rockwood Electric Utility Board. Do I hear any recommendations on this council?
The mayor, Mayor Neal,
I'm gonna have to decline.
you are.
Yeah.
Tony Brown.
Okay, so Ms. Johnson is nominated Tony Brown. Do I hear a second for Mr. Brown to go on the RU board?
Second.
Second by Ms. Wright. Any discussion?
Perfect man for the job.
Madam Clerk, call the roll on Mr. Brown's appointment to the Rockwood Electric Board.
Councilmember Bradley,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Brown,
Yes.
Councilmember Gwynn,
Yes.
Councilmember Johnson,
Yes.
Councilmember Wright,
Yes.
Mayor Dale.
Aye. Item C is consideration of appointment to fill the unexpired term of former city council member Randy Childs. So the way we talked about this the other night is I will open the floor for nominations. And then we will cease nominations. And when we have who is being nominated, I'll ask the clerk to call the roll. And the council member will voice the name of the person they wish to fill Councilman Childs' seat. Okay? So I want to open the floor for nominations.
I'll nominate Levi Langford. I nominate Philip Martin.
Are there any other nominations? I'll cease nominations. Do I hear a second to cease nominations?
Second.
So now, the clerk will call the roll with two people that have been placed in nomination, Mr. Langford and Mr. Martin. Madam Clerk, call the roll, please.
Councilmember Bradley,
Philip Martin.
Vice Mayor Brown,
Langford.
Councilmember Gwynn,
Philip Martin.
Councilmember Johnson,
Philip Martin.
Councilmember Wright,
Levi Langford.
Mayor Dale.
Levi Langford.
Have 3 votes for Mr. Langford and 3 votes for Mr. Martin.
Being a tie, we'll go back through the same steps again. So, Madam Clerk, you'll call the roll, and the names of the person that the council member wishes to be appointed will be said.
Councilmember Bradley,
Philip Martin.
Vice Mayor Brown,
Langford.
Councilmember Gwynn,
Philip Martin.
Councilmember Johnson,
Philip Martin.
Councilmember Wright,
Levi Langford.
Mayor Dale.
Philip Martin.
2 votes for Mr. Langford and 4 votes for Mr. Martin.
Mr. Philip Martin has been appointed to fill the seat of former council member Randy Childs. Is there anything else to come before this council tonight? This meeting's adjourned. Now I'll call a regular scheduled meeting of the Kingston Beer Board. Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll for the beer board, please?
Member Bradley,
Here.
Vice Chair Brown,
Present.
Member Gwynn,
Present.
Member Johnson,
Present.
Member Wright,
Present.
Chairman Dale.
Present. Your motion to approve the previous minutes is written.
Motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Seeing no corrections or deletions to the minutes, Madam Clerk, will you call the roll for the minutes of the beer board?
Member Bradley,
Yes.
Vice Chair Brown, Member Gwynn,
Yes.
Member Johnson,
Yes.
Member Wright,
Yes.
Chairman Dale.
Yeah.
Nothing comes before the beer board tonight. I call the adjourned. Next regular meeting of the Kingston Water Board. Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll for
Member Bradley,
Here.
Vice Chair Brown,
Present.
Member Gwynn,
Present.
Member Johnson,
Present.
Member Wright,
Present.
Chairman Dale.
President? To hear a motion to approve the previous minutes from last month's water board.
I make a motion.
Motion by Mr. Brett, was there a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Johnson. Any corrections or deletions? See any board members? Madam Clerk, call the roll on the previous minutes.
Member Britton?
Yes.
Vice Chair Brown?
Yes.
Member Glenn?
Yes.
Member Johnson?
Yes.
Member Wright?
Yes.
Chairman Neville?
Aye. Do we have any citizens wishing to address the beer board tonight? Water board, I'll get one of them. Does anybody want to come talk to us, baby? All right, seeing none, we'll give the utility director's report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just got a few things tonight. I want to report to y'all that I will be meeting with the Adura Group tomorrow about some of our TDEC and ARPA funding projects, the rehabilitation of sewer lines, just various things there. While I have them here, I will be talking with them about the possible water treatment plant growth projection, so we can maybe get that started, looking at that. The next thing that I've got is I'd like to report to y'all that Watts Bar Utility is now officially tied into us on Paint Rock Ferry as of yesterday. I've spoken with them. They like about probably another week and a half, 2 weeks, and they'll be up and ready to be pumping to us. Just having to finish up some loose ends on their side. Also, possibly this week, maybe next week, I will also be meeting with them regarding where they want to do the water and the sewer tie-ins and locations for that Highway 58 South project going across the river. And the last thing that I have for tonight is I did receive word this week that the sewer saddle for Southwest Point is projected to ship on the 19th of this month, and we should have it within just a few days after that. So once we get that, we'll be ready to rock and roll for a parking rack out there. And other than that, that's all I've got, unless y'all have any questions for me.
In talking with Mr. Barch about the sewer line he's got on Paint Rock, does he have any plans to tie any, I mean, is he gonna tie everyone on, or what's he plan? What is his plan?
Right now, Long Island Marina will be tied in. They also have, don't quote me on this, but I think 2 customers it's ready to tie on. Sort of the same situation that we're probably going to be facing in coming up here in July, but as those field lines fail in that, everybody will be there. But he also stated to me that he has had some more interest expressed in it, extending that sewer past Long Island Marina and picking up some more customers on his behalf.
Like the trailer park.
Beyond Long Island Marina, I think there's somebody out there that possibly owns a larger piece of property that they're talking about subdividing.
Okay.
It's huge tract of land.
Not that it makes any difference to us, does he meter each one of those separately? Or how's he gonna charge and recoup his money?
I guess, to be honest with you, he'll recoup his through the water meter. Just, I think he's gonna go along the lines, and I know this has been a topic with us, but from what I'm understanding is anybody in that stretch that has availability to sewer will pay sewer. That's my understanding.
But I understand that, but how is he gonna know how much to charge him since he doesn't have the water?
He does have that.
He
water.
had all the water out there? We had part of it out there.
We just go to the second lakeside entrance on the Paint Rock, and that's where the sewer meter is located at. So everything from there he owns, or he has the service. I'm sorry.
Yeah, okay. So we don't care how he does it, and he don't need us at all for that.
Pretty much, yes.
As long as he
What's
pays
it-
his.
What's it gonna do to our sewer plant? With that going way out there and then going across 58 and all that extra there?
We have the growth. We can sustain it. I mean, we have not exact. This is not an exact number, but I'm just going to throw an idea out in the ballpark figure. We're probably somewhere around 30% of our plant right now, a capacity. So we have a lot of room to grow on the sewer.
Any other questions for utility director?
That's something Mr. Baldwin.
Anybody have any questions for Mr. Bowles?
Any update on development 58?
Not definitive. I don't have, I think there's some development. I think there's a development on the development coming. Be very vague, but I think something.
There's some shaking in the movie.
Yeah, I think there's some moving parts there,
We can't
based
speak on contract.
on a meeting I had last week, but I don't know that that's all been don't know if the ink's dry and that sort of thing, but I wouldn't be surprised if there isn't some news, which would certainly be good for the city to see any type of movement down there. So we're hopeful that that will be progressing soon. So I'll keep you posted if I hear anything official on that.
One last thing, when we put the sewer, when you connect the sewer for Southwest Point, is there any thought of whether or not we're going to put a dump station to accommodate our trailer that's that close? An opening so that if we had overflow crowds of something going on out there that needed more than the 2 bathrooms, that we would be able to utilize the trailer?
Good question.
Really, to be honest with you, Mr. Brown, that has not came up, but there is a possibility to do that. All really would have to be done is we just need to go in there and put a clean out up there near the front of that building. And they could just go straight into, that pump. If that's something that the board would like to see, I would be more than happy to speak with JR about putting a clean out there to where they could pull up right there and dump into doing that, if that's what y'all would like to do.
Yeah,
I hadn't thought of that.
Just thinking ahead, there may be a time to have a major tournament that an extra trailer that we've got sitting there, and the only reason we can't use it because we don't know where to dump it, now would be the time to take care of that.
Yeah, and like I say, it could, I mean, it'd be real simple. All that have to be done is that line just cut out, a clean out put in right there. But, I mean, like I say, if that's something y'all want to do, I'll be more than happy to speak with JR about it and have him to do it while we're this far into it.
Do we have to dig up the old septic tank?
We do not have to dig up the old septic tank. We were able to go in and bust the lid. We had it pumped. Everything was removed. We busted the lid and it's been filled in completely with gravel. So there will never be any concerns about that falling in and being a liability.
Anything else, Mr. Brown?
Good job.
Anything else, Mr.
Good
Brown?
idea.
Anybody got anything else for the water board tonight? Seeing none, this means adjourned.